Hi guys, Kirk and Jason here with Giordano plastering. Today what I'm going to show you is how we do a brown coat on this gable wall. Now Tim is also going to help us do it. He's also a licensed stucco guy. Jay's actually licensed too. What I like to do first, and what we've done so far, is we've hosed this wall down. This is a scratch coat. Scratch coat has been on here for about 4 or 5 days. Now we hose the wall down because we want the next coat to adhere. While these guys are spreading mud, I'll show you a quick tip. I get asked this a lot, guys. And I get asked, do we need to use a sponge float or a hard rubber float once it's brown? I'll answer that question soon. Well, I guess I'll answer it now because these guys got to get ahead of us, or ahead of me, before I even can start my job. If the wall's turning white and hard, we use a hard rubber float. If it's still a little soft, we can use a sponge float. But a sponge float will leave grit. Depending on your next finish, you got to know which one to use. Anyhow, what I'm going to do here is, we're all capable of spreading and derbying behind each other, but I'm kind of partial to derbying everything myself. So what I'll generally do is have these guys spread it out, and if they're not as far as I'd like them to be, I will even give them a hand. And then, aren't you cold, boy? I'll show you. We're going to put it on pretty heavy. Pretty heavy. And it doesn't have to be pretty, guys. There's a lot of us working on this one wall, but in order to prove a point of how thick you got to be, that's okay. We've already done the top. When I was working union, I'd use the derby behind a pump. The pump would blow it on. We'd do about 11 houses a day with the pump. First coat, scratch. We'd do about 9 if we were browning. So I like that routine where it's put on, and then I take that rod or derby, depending on where you're located. Dan, let me get some more mud up here, please. Oh, are you, okay. Go ahead and start that mixer and give us some more mud. Now guys, when I have a lot of mud on the wall, what a fellow like me will do, and again, these guys are capable of using their own rod or derby, but I'm kind of partial to this. It gives me a good workout. I like doing it. I just take the mud right here, start from the bottom, pull it up. And what I'm doing is I'm making the wall true and plumb. I'm putting it, getting the depth proper. What we've already got is 3/8 for the scratch coat. Now the brown is technically about 3/8 also. When everything is said and done, we should have about 7/8 with the color coat included. Pretty simple, guys, easy peasy. Oh, we take this, 1 second, Tim. Bring it up. Bring it up there. Real simple if you know how to do it. Just takes practice. I used to be a stick man behind the derby, behind the pump for years and years. And I actually like doing this stuff. You come up. Now here's where I'll let you finish this last piece, Tim, and I'll explain one more time. Here's where the green sponge float comes in, or the hard rubber trowel. Personally, I like the hard rubber trowel, but it's got to set. This wall, you look at it, I would say, hey, if you're ever doing a video, phone always rings. Anyway, I like to let it set. In about a half hour, this will be ready to hard rubber float. I'll take the hard rubber float and make the wall true and plumb, compress it, Allow that to set for a minimum of 2 solid weeks prior to a color coat. And while that's setting, I usually ask the homeowner, hydrate the crap out of that wall. Meaning, you take a water hose and you just start from the top, you hit it about 5-6 times. This wall here would take about 15 minutes to hydrate. You do it just right, that's the best way to avoid any hairline crackings. But even if you do it everything up to code, you can still get hairline cracking. That's just the nature of stucco, guys. Anyhow, there's no way to tell you every little detail about stucco with a 5-minute clip, but I thought I'd show you just a couple tips. Anyhow, my name is Kirk. I'm with Giordano Plastering, and as usual, let's see you guys on the next one.